Hey, thanks for watching Four Color Commentary. This is Mark Allen. I saw a story this morning, and it was actually from yesterday on Screen Rant about, spoilers ahead. In case you're going to read Young Justice, the new Young Justice book, you should know there are some spoilers ahead. But anyway, Screen Rant had this story basically putting forth the theory that Impulse, who returns in this book, he gives away the existence of the Marvel Universe in DC continuity. And the way he does that is that he said, well, before he arrived back in the DC time stream, he was running to Canada to join up with Alpha, and then he doesn't finish the sentence. Well, it seems to be to many a clear reference to Alpha Flight, and which means he was in the Marvel Universe. Now, that's exciting. Anytime that one of the companies recognize the other, it's an exciting thought for fans that there might be some more crossovers going on in the future with Marvel and DC. But it's not the first time that's happened. Just even not quite a year ago, February of 2018, there were a few people that thought that a character that was created in the 90s had showed up in Justice League again. Now let me go around and come back to that with the origin of this character. This character was created in the limited series from 1996, Marvel versus DC, or DC versus Marvel. Who can remember? But the idea was some of Marvel's biggest stars, some of DC's biggest stars, fighting one another in some kind of a competition. I won't give it away in case you've never read it. It's a great read. But there was a character created in that called Access. And Access's real name was Axel Asher. I don't remember if he was from the DC universe or the Marvel universe, but that was his power. He could go between either one. And he actually in the 90s showed up at least once in a DC book and in a Marvel book. Now I don't remember the Marvel book that he showed up in, but my memory tells me, my sometimes faulty memory tells me, that it was Green Lantern that he showed up in as far as the DC universe. So anyway, Access was created as a character who would be a go-between between Marvel and DC. So it automatically presented all kinds of possibilities for Marvel and DC to do some crossovers that involved that character. Anytime a character needed to get to the other universe, they just get in contact with Access. And so anyway, there was even at the time, I'll throw this little tidbit in there. There was a rumor in the 90s. It may have been regional, just at my comic shop, but there was a rumor that Marvel and DC might swap a couple of characters for a year, and just kind of let the creators at each company, play with that character in the other company's sandbox. Now, here's the thought that always sticks in my mind, and I don't have a DC counterpart for it, but can you imagine Daredevil hanging out for a year in Gotham City, making a living as a lawyer, having to defend some of the people or prosecute some of the people that he would prosecute in Gotham, and of course, obviously, as Daredevil, facing off against many of Batman's own villains. I always thought that would be a cool story. And yes, I always liked both Daredevil and Batman crossovers that were done in the last several years. But anyway, coming back to the character and coming back to what happened in February of 2018 in Justice League magazine, or Justice League comic. People were starting to get excited. In one issue of the Justice League comic, they thought that they saw, in a picture with Batman, they thought they saw Access return. But actually what happened was Steve Orlando, who was at the time, and may still be, on the creative team of Justice League, he revealed on Twitter, I believe, that was actually Ray Palmer. There were some similarities in the character and the costume and everything. But there's always that. It seems like fans are always waiting for something like that to happen. But, honestly, this is something that's been going on really ever since shortly after the first Marvel-DC crossover. Because you see, back in 1976, when, I think it was 76, may have been 77, but when Marvel and DC did Spider-Man versus Superman, or Superman versus Spider-Man, they shortly after that story, which was a great story, What If #1 came out. And what if number one alluded to the meeting between Spider-Man and Superman, as it was talking about the differing timelines and the things that go on in the vast Marvel universe and all the various universes and Earths and everything. So the idea of the two universes recognizing each other, sensing one another, openly acknowledging one another, that's always been there. My hope is that one day we would see that kind of regular goings on where the crossovers might not, they would still be big events, but it would be something that both the companies could feel more free in and explore more options and more characters and more crossovers in that way. But, you know, who knows whether that'll happen or not. But in any case, it is cool to hear that Impulse seems to have referred to the Marvel Universe, and who knows what may come from that. Whatever comes from it, whether it's a book I buy or a book I don't, if there's a Marvel DC crossover involved, I'll be getting that because I always read those. Anyway, this has been a quick bit from 4Color Commentary and Mark Allen. Hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, do that. But if you already have, thanks very much, and we'll see you on our next video. Thanks for watching.